YouTube.
YouTube, what the frick are you doing over there?
Oh, no, there it goes. Ish. Or not. Or I guess it'll... I don't know. For some reason, like, the controls on it just seems to randomly go to whatever time frame in the video it feels like on occasion. I have no idea why. Not hitting any specific buttons on it. It is just doing whatever the fuzz it feels like doing. Okay, so now I'm apparently live. So let's go to my channel. Ah, hell yeah, man. There's 0 people watching me. That makes sense. That's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. That is also not what I wanted. Chip. Come on. There we go. All right, now I got my chats up so I can see those. All right. Oh, let's get the seat back tray table in the upright position here so I can monitor some stuff. Oh, my back. All right. So I definitely need to move this chat somewhere because, like, this is where the monitor is. That's where the camera is. And, like, chat is so far over in this direction. Like, I can't even. Like, that's... Even my peripheral vision is like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you... Like, come on, man. We're good, but Jesus. All right, I will try this. Actually, it's almost like I basically have to look around to see my own chat. That's probably not as good either, but I mean, hey, we're going to go for it today. Screw it. So what are we looking for today? I don't actually have anything. I was just going to watch a bunch of anime and stuff like that. I mean, again, unless someone decides to throw questions and other stuff out into the chat, I don't really have anything else to go off of. I've been up since 4 in the morning because insomnia. Oh, man, it's going to get worse and worse for me, too. Doo-doo. But that's all right. Man teleports to another world as slave, but ends up ruling them all. See, like, I don't... What the fucking truck? That's a whole head. That's a girl's head. What in the fuck? You know, I don't even... Okay, anyway, jeez, what the heck do we want to watch now? Here I am sitting, trying to be a morning person, doing like morning person things. And who boy am I ever not a morning person. Here, let's watch like Riley go off.
Ha! It's Revenge of the 5th, the day that I'm allowed to be honest about the fact that Star Wars is dead. Because
says the guy who won't shut up about how much he loves Andor.
Good point. Google suddenly announced the Pixel Fold on Thursday, surprising the whole
I'll try this
internet.
a little bit. Maybe
the company
see if
used
this
Star
makes
Wars
any bit
Day
of
to tweet out a
difference.
teaser of the product and a frankly offensive pun, giving us our first
Execute Order 66.
giving us our first official look at the device less than a week before Google's I.O. event on May 10th. Of course, rumors about the phone have been circulating for months, but it's great to get our first real look at the phone and its bezels, and confirm that Google is still...
I'm happy more and more phone makers are switching to the 120 hertz smooth displays. Like, I'm more impressed though too by the ones that are doing the adaptive frame refresh rates. Adaptive refresh rates. Whole thing in G Fuel, and I still just my brain. It's amazing. It's gonna be like the best morning show from a morning person that is not a morning person. From yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we roll here. Let's fucking keep going.
Or of a software company. The Fold now has an official store page with a banner confirming that more information about the phablet will come out during I/O. I haven't heard that word in years.
A long time.
In a long time. Man, I can't wait to hear a Google executive probably tell us that the Fold is powered by the Tensor G2 SoC, has 12 gigs of RAM, 120 hertz displays, costs $1,800, and a bunch of other stuff that John Prosser and Evan Blass said weeks ago. A leaked internal document from a senior Google engineer warns that the tech giant and its competitor OpenAI may soon face their greatest rival in AI development. At Tony Shalhoub fan 69. You mean Tony Shalhoub of Monk's fame?
Yes.
I mean, really, it could be any of the other 68 fans of the star of television's award-winning crime dramedy Monk. So, in the document, engineer Luke Cernow argues that Google and OpenAI are being leapfrogged by indie open source AI researchers who are making massive strides in AI development in their basements with gaming laptops, due in no small part to the leak of Meta's Llama large language model. Cernow urges that Google's only option is to learn from and collaborate with what others are doing outside Google, even if that means reading a lot of AI-generated Monk fan fiction.
And some slash fiction.
Grassroots AI research is also gaining attention in the EU, which is doing what it does best and developing regulations. But there's a
This is really good. Like, in my time with AI and AI technologies, I can absolutely say it 100% needs to be regulated. It should be regulated like yesterday. I just hope that, like, let's be honest though, we have lawmakers in this country that are a bunch of dinosaurs that, like, they understand technology as like that fandangled thing the kids like. So shit. You know, it's gonna be a pain. I've been saying this for a while. I think AI is genuinely going to outsource a lot of more people than people realize. It is able to do certain things right now in its current iterations. It is getting exponentially better fast. Like, people do not understand what I even mean by fast. I mean, like, crawling one day to running the next day, and this is an advancement of a species, not a human learning to run and walk. This is like a species evolving from walking to running. So, like, this is on a scale of things way grander than what you'd imagine. It's also way more dangerous than what you'd imagine. The potential dangers, like, it's already being used to abuse the hell out of things. Like, as much as I hate it, or love AI rather, I love AI. This whole AI thing has been fun as hell. I've been using the Chat GPT thing and all that fun stuff. But yeah, even I know and understand that this stuff is not ready for it. People are not ready for it. It's a thing. Oh, it needs to get regulated.
There's a risk that sweeping restrictions on AI could limit grassroots researchers' ability to create questionably conscious entities in their basement.
Although he's also not wrong about that. There's levels to the restrictions. And I always feel like as one of America's greatest failings is we always want to restrict the common man from not being able to do shit. But we don't mind the corporations doing whatever they want, including, just not good things. So,
Regulations could also cause the EU to risk losing the AI arms race to the US, and that's all according to an open letter coordinated by Large Scale AI Open Network, aka LION, a German nonprofit AI research group. Oh man, if I had $1 for every time America and Germany were fighting, I would use them as seed capital to fund research toward building a time machine, which I would use to go back in time and prevent several key historical events that would have supplied me the initial dollars I used to fund the machine, thus creating a potential time paradox that would threaten the fabric of space-time. Or maybe I'd buy an ice cream. And Xbox head Phil Spencer gave an interview on the Kinda Funny Xcast where he discussed many topics. In reference to Xbox competing with PlayStation and Nintendo in the console market, Spencer remarked, "There is no world where Starfield is an 11 out of 10 and people start selling their PS5s," really demonstrating why he is the head of Xbox. His vision is so vast, he can see through the multiverse.
But can he see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Of course, the reason Phil believes this elusive world doesn't exist is because he spent years searching. No, it's because Microsoft lost the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. And as a result, Xbox can't claw back the market share from its competitors. There's just no way. Discussing Xbox exclusives specifically, he also commented on the mediocre reception of the game Redfall. This sounds like a fun podcast episode. Just like whipping himself. Phil said game critics rated the game double digits lower than what the Xbox team expected based on their own internal mock reviews. Now, since we've already established that Phil Spencer is a higher dimensional being, it's more than likely
maybe you guys should stop releasing games before they're done. Like executives, I don't even understand at this point. You're literally releasing subpar games, making your entire company look bad. Releasing garbage products for what? It's literally like if you were to just hold off the thing like, oh yeah, we don't have as great of a quarter this time. Well, who gives a shit? Because you know what? When you do release the good game in the correct form that it should be released in, not only is it going to expand, it's going to exponentially grow to more audience members, more people. Oh no, more money. It's almost like the short-term thinking is a stupid-ass, dumb decision that shouldn't be done.
likely this is some 4D chess move to convince UK regulators that if they don't reverse their decision blocking the Activision merger, Xbox will go bankrupt, leaving only two incredibly profitable games console companies to duke it out for world domination. And if there's one thing the UK hates, it's a two-party system. And that's a joke about them having more than one party, two parties.
First past the post.
They have,
bad.
it's like Canada, so
Yeah.
look it up. Now it's time for Quick Bits, brought to you by Vessi. Vessi footwear claims to be 100% waterproof no matter the weather. So if you're always moving through different weathers, Vessi's everyday moves are the shoes for you. With enhanced breathability and added support, this style is perfect for the adventurous or those looking for something sportier. Featuring a pull tab to take them off and put them on with ease, vegan suede lace cages, extra midsole cushioning, and the same
Why am I
waterproof
literally
Dynatex
watching a
technology.
dang,
Its
like,
future
advertisement
projects by
here?
exploring nuclear-powered rockets for deep space travel, and
Yeah,
even space-based solar farms that will send energy to Earth with lasers. What? But before they move forward, they need to explain how the name of the rocket study, Rocket Roll, stands for Preliminary European Reckon on Nuclear Electric Propulsion for Space Applications. Sounds to
Wow.
me like Rocket Roll stands for I can't spell.
You guys could speak like 75 languages, can't write?
That's not how acronyms work. Discord has announced they are changing the way their usernames work, speaking of which, so that many users will probably have to pick a new one. The platform currently has a 4-digit tag to differentiate users with the same username, but they've decided to get rid of it to make usernames on Discord look a lot like those on other platforms. Because nothing makes you stand out quite like being the same. Microsoft has announced it is opening Bing
Oh,
AI
yeah, they
access
did.
up to everyone.
Oh,
This
that's
is a great
weird.
idea. No longer will you have to wait in line for a reason to finally use the search engine you've been purposely avoiding for years. Alongside this announcement, Microsoft said it will be adding more features to the chatbot, like enabling charts and graphs in Bing's answers, and even allowing chat history in the Edge browser, so that Bing will remember all the horrible puddles of internet scum it had to swim through just so you could find the conversion rate between US dollars and Vietnamese dong. Are you happy?
So much dong.
Apple and Google have partnered to develop a set of standards and best practices to reduce the misuse of Bluetooth tracking devices, which are these handy little devices that let you both find your luggage and stop.
I was gonna say, like, the Bluetooth thing, the little AirTags have been such a good and bad thing. Like, I have seen so many stories on both sides of, like, you know, hey, this person is stalking this person. Like, holy can we not? But at the same time, there's always like, oh, thanks because of this, I was able to get this back. I was able to find this. You know, I put this on this, and I was able to find this. And it was like, man, there's so many good use cases, and at the same time, there's always so many bad actors. Why? Why do we got people like this? Stop all the downloading. We got to be better for each other. We have got to be better for each other. That is my motto.
Stalk your ex-girlfriend. Very useful. Why did I say it like that?
Oh boy!
The new specification would inform users of Android and iOS devices when they're being tracked without their consent, which has received widespread support in the industry. Because, come on, they're soulless corporations, not monsters.
Think of the profits!
That, and no one wants to be the pro-stalking guy, generally bad for business. Colorado-based BioFire is launching a gun with fingerprint and facial recognition that will only work for verified users, though they have yet to explain where the blue checkmark will appear. The gun started as a high school science fair project.
Careful, Riley.
Okay, and is now launching with a $1,500 price tag. But can you really put a price on how cool you look while you grapple with the fragility of human life? At least it works. And can you really put a price on coming back on Monday for more tech news? Because
I ain't even gonna get into that conversation right there. I do think I'm gonna put on a temporary radio station though, so I can go bio. Apparently that decided to randomly say hello. So given that, let's pick a decent radio station. Where is my Bangarang? Hell yeah. No, I mean, Game Shops, Gum Shops. I like how I did not unmute my mic. That's exactly how you do that. What the heck? Okay, so now that I'm here, I'm not entirely 100% sure what I want to do yet. Like, I kind of just wanted to hit the live button just so I was doing something today. And honestly, maybe I'll just stick around, watch some anime, and maybe if someone like asks something, I can actually go do some IT stuff. That'd be pretty fun. It's like, what else is going on in my feed? Sleeping pandemic causes human. That's right. Mystery recap. So this, we're definitely gonna do at least one mystery recap video because that shit is wild. Yes, Linus, actually tell me.
16 core. I'm about to save you.
PC cooling. It's a thing. You gotta cool your PC. Everyone knows it. At least in some capacity. To what level they might not understand, but
$60 to $100. You don't need to buy that CPU cooler. I know, it sounds crazy coming from the guy who's made more than 120 videos about cooling your computer and recently did this and this. But if you're a gamer, like me, you don't really need any of that. If you're a numbers guy, like me, you probably want evidence to back up that claim. So,
evidence.
I went and got the evidence. Lots of it. We tested 8 CPU coolers on 6 different CPUs in some of the most CPU intensive games out there. And we are about to take a big steaming, no thank you, on the marketing nonsense, once and for all, to answer, how much cooling do you actually need? It's probably gonna surprise you. Like the segue to our sponsor.
Seasonic. Seasonic's Prime TX 1000 watt power supply features an 80
This
plus titanium
swagway.
rating, hybrid fan control, and a 12-year warranty. Check it out.
While we couldn't include every cooler on the market, we did manage to cover every major form of consumer CPU cooler across a wide range of price points. We then divided our contestants into 3 weight classes based on expected performance and strapped them to a variety of CPUs that were chosen based on which ones could be easily extrapolated to nearby SKUs in the lineup. For example, if your cooler can handle a 13900K, then you shouldn't have any worries about a 13700K, but then it could be overkill for a 13600K, and so on and so forth. On the Team Red side of things, it's a bit more complex because AMD's designs can have single or multiple compute dies and different thermal ratings, even for identical core counts. So we settled on the 16-core 7950X as our worst case scenario. Then we picked the 7700X for our next tier, which you're probably wondering, why 7700X? Well, it comes down to density. All 8 of its cores are tightly packed onto the same die, and this concentration of heat can make it a very challenging chip to cool. Finally, we chose the top chip in AMD's lineup of super efficient 65-watt CPUs, the 7900 Non-X. For our GPU, we chose the powerful and hot 3090 Ti. This was for 2 reasons. One, to ensure that our CPUs were actually running full tilt rather than just being bottlenecked. And second, to dump heat into our case while we're gaming or running stress tests. This is to ensure that our results will be representative of your experience at home, rather than only representative of running on an open test bench.
Nice.
Speaking of cases, we chose the Lian Li LanCool 216. Its layout reflects what most PC builders are using these days, and for the sake of fairness, we needed a chassis that could handle a 360mm rad in the top. This knocked out some pretty popular contenders, but it looks good and it's competitively priced at just $100. Now I know this has been a lot of background info so far, but it'll be worth it because it's gonna help you interpret the results, which I promise are coming very soon. The last
No, I actually like this. When they do a deeper dive into it, it makes a lot more sense, and it just makes you feel a lot better about the data that they have come up with. And it's a lot better for the answers. Like, come on, don't never feel bad about that.
is that for all of our testing, we used the default fan curve on our motherboard. We debated normalizing our results based on decibels, but we're still working on our sound chamber, and it's also not super representative of how most people use their PCs. That isn't to say that that's a bad way to test. It's actually an excellent way to test, and one that we will be doing in the future. But today's video is more about the big picture. Are you shopping for something like this, or something like this? Let's begin with our stock coolers, since the first question we need to answer is, do you need to buy a cooler at all? AMD's Wraith Prism is only included with their 65-watt chips, so we conducted all of our tests on the Ryzen 7900 Non-X, which shrugged off even our heaviest loads with 40 degrees of thermal headroom. That means that unless you're overclocking or pursuing an aesthetic or acoustic benefit, any cooler but the one in the box is pretty much throwing away money. Intel, on the other hand, their included stock cooler couldn't even adequately cool the 13400. In consecutive game benchmarks, the stock cooler ran on average around 30 degrees warmer than our single tower Vetru V5 and nearly 38 degrees warmer than our top performers. For reference, that's the difference between frozen water and the average high temperature in Dallas in July. And while it technically gets a pass, we didn't observe any performance dips or thermal throttling. If you're in a case that lacks airflow, or maybe you live in Dallas and it's summer, you could easily hit a thermal wall. As for Cinebench, yeah, not even close. The 13400 hits its thermal limits in under 30 seconds before dialing the clocks back to compensate.
Ouch.
It's a small performance hit and it won't affect your FPS in games, but we also weren't impressed by its whiny acoustic properties. So in summary, if free is your only positive attribute, that's not really positive, and the aluminum might have been better used creating something that can actually stay cool, like the 64-ounce insulated water bottle from LTTstore.com. Or one of these. The Vetru V5 managed to handle AMD's entire lineup in games with average temps 15 to 20 degrees clear of AMD's rated maximum. And the same goes for Intel, is what I would say if it wasn't for the 13900K. Which isn't a surprise, but it is an interesting conclusion. If all you do is game, an inexpensive single 120mm tower cooler is more than enough. However, we can't say the same if you occasionally use your PC for heavily multi-threaded tasks, where our poor Vetru V5 struggled on everything but the Core i3-13400 and the Ryzen 7900. It's not like we saw any
that makes
catastrophic
sense,
performance drops thanks to the intelligent clock speed management of modern processors, but it's clear that the V5 was not designed for heavier loads, and with higher temperatures comes more noise. So if you want more headroom or just quieter overall operation, I'd recommend looking at our middleweight contenders. This one from Deepcool looks absolutely sick and it's water cooled, but
Nice.
120mm all-in-one water cooling kits carry a heavy cost burden for their size, and the LS320
do.
comes in at double.
Granted, it's kind of funny. I used them in one of my previous builds, the old AMD 8530s that I used to use, the FX chips. Water, all-in-one cooled both of those systems.
The price of its rival, the Thermalright Peerless Assassin. This
Warning,
dual tower
Captain,
cooler
1 hour
is
mark.
such a good
Please
deal
take a
that it
break
makes
if needed.
Okay. Thanks, Stories in Spaceship.
Many of the other options look kind of irrelevant. The Peerless Assassin managed to handle every gaming load we threw at it with ease, but unlike the Vetru V5, this powerhouse even handles all core loads on the 13600K, only failing to tame the 13900K, which it fails to tame pretty spectacularly. Which seemed a bit weird. Why did this thing handle the 13600K so well, but then suddenly it's neck and neck with the Vetru when we put it on the 13900K? I mean, we'd expect there to be some difference for having two fans. You might think, well, it must have just been a fluke result from a poor mount, but nope. We reseated our coolers for every run in our testing. So what's going on? Well, the Thermaltake Peerless Assassin's towers are offset. So when we mount the cooler southpaw, there's precious little clearance with the GPU. Then in the normal configuration, we call it normal despite the fact that there is no designated mounting direction, it results in thermal improvements that vastly exceed our expectations. We're talking more than a 10-degree difference in max and average temps while gaming on the 13900K. It seems like the 13900K combined with the heat dumped directly in from the flow-through cooler of the 3090 was just enough to push this cooler over the edge. The good news is that no matter the configuration, the Peerless Assassin looks great on the AMD side, managing marginally higher clock speeds on the 7950X thanks to the extra thermal headroom over the Vetru, making it a great choice for Team Red machines. Despite the impressive performance for our $40 cooler though, not everyone has a case that can accommodate a tower, nor does everyone enjoy the look of big stacks of metal fins. I mean, personally, I love it, but taste is subjective, especially your bad taste, Jacob. So let's taste some liquid. In gaming, Deepcool put up a much better fight than I expected, especially on the AM5 platform. But it still gets overwhelmed by the 13900K, causing a dip in gaming clock speed that, while too small to affect real-world performance, was present. At this point then, it feels like we have at least part of our answer. If you're only gaming, you don't need anything more than a competent single tower cooler. And if you mostly game, but also run the occasional overnight video encode, a basic dual tower cooler like the Peerless Assassin, or if you're tight on space and flush with cash, a 120mm AIO is totally a valid choice. We also know that none of the things I just said are true if you bought a 13900K or if you like to squeeze every last drop of performance out of your system. I'm gonna have to spoil something that happens later here, but it's important, so it's worth it. A Noctua NHD15 is gonna cost you a whopping $60 more than a Peerless Assassin, and it only manages to offer a small performance benefit even on our more challenging chips. So on the surface, it sounds crazy. Why would you spend over twice as much for a 1% clock speed advantage? But hold on a second. When we zoom out and we look at our overall build cost, that price difference becomes much smaller. Take this 13900K build that we whipped up. The extra cost of the NHD15 is about 2.3% of the total price, meaning that the investment in better performance, quieter operation, and lower temp seems maybe not that stupid after all. So, if the overkill camp isn't actually overkill, at least for high performance chips, let's talk about the big boys then, shall we? Corsair's flagship Elite Capellix series is available in both 240 and 360mm configs, and they're gonna be going up against the Kraken X63 RGB from NZXT. It's a water cooler showdown here, guys. The 240mm H100 then performs very well in all gaming scenarios, including on the 13900K, and even in all core workloads, it manages to nearly take Intel's furnace disguised as a gaming accessory to its max boost speeds.
Furnace disguised as a gaming accessory. Not wrong.
Stepping up to the 280mm Kraken, I'm very disappointed. Despite still being a 2-fan cooler, this thing boasts substantially more surface area than the 240mm Rad, so we should see our temps improve, except they don't. In fact, the Kraken is slumming it down here with our stock cooler on the Ryzen 7900. What is happening right now? As it turns out, you need to install NZXT's companion software. Why would a cooler need companion software, you might ask? Good question. Many motherboards these days come with a header for both a CPU fan and for a pump. Not to mention that Even if they didn't, you could still run a pump off of a PWM header or even just directly off the power supply. No problem. But in the name of RGB purdiness, many AIOs do connect to the system via a USB header. That's not inherently bad, except that NZXT configures their coolers to run in silent mode by default, meaning that if you neglect to use their CAM software, you could be getting shockingly poor performance without realizing it. If you do install CAM, however, it handles games as well as you'd expect with no performance hits, even if all core loads on the 13900K can overwhelm it, which ended up being true for Corsair's 360mm flagship as well. It is truly remarkable that Intel saw fit to not only release this monster, but create an even hungrier follow-up. Like, what space-age carbon nanotube coolers are they using on them in the labs? Moving on to our air cooling heavyweight. The Noctua NH-D15 continues to prove that it is an absolute monster, even after all these years. This is the cooler that we use in our internal hardware testing, and for good reason. It keeps up. Not only is it routinely sharing the lowest temps in gaming across our entire suite, but even in extended all-core workloads, this dual-tower behemoth takes pretty much anything you can throw at it.
I've actually been wanting to get one of these for my CPU cooler. Or a liquid cooler like Juby has, because they're both like
and it's cheaper
same
than
level.
many AIO heavyweight water coolers. I mean, we'd go as far as to say, if your case fits it, it is a better buy than any all-in-one water cooler. Why? Well, first, no special software required to make it run its best, and second, and perhaps more importantly, no pump. If the pump in your AIO bites the dust after your warranty period has expired, you are completely SOL and you will need to replace the entire cooler. If your fan dies though, that's a fast, cheap replacement. So rule of thumb, we recommend air whenever possible. But what if you're in a small form factor system? Sadly, due to the widely varying shapes and configurations of small form factor cases, testing cooling performance in a generalized way isn't really practical. But we still wanted to check out how the super low profile L9A/L9I from Noctua fares, just to kind of see what we could get away with. On the 7950X then, our hottest AMD chip, the L9A manages to barely make it under the line in gaming loads, though it has precious little headroom, which we'll talk about in a moment. On all core workloads, the L9A struggles, with clocks dropping well below spec on the 7950, though it does put up a pretty impressive fight on the 7700X, even if you can see clock speeds trending downward over time. On the Intel side,
I mean, at the same time, though, why are you throwing one of those into that? Like, the CPU to GPU is just like a little bit crazy there.
things are not so great. It's just not even relevant on the 13900K, and even gaming loads on the 13600K are proving to be a bit too much for this cooler. On top of that, you need to take these results with a giant grain of salt, because your poor low-profile cooler is also likely to be operating in suboptimal conditions with high ambient temperatures in an airflow-restricted small form factor case. So then, what do we recommend? Well, if we flip our data and go by CPU, we can see that if you're on AMD, a single tower cooler is going to cover you for gaming, and if you want to also use your PC for work, or if you can afford the top-end 7950X, the Assassin is pretty much your entry level. Everything else is an extravagant gift then for your ears. As for the Intel side of things, stock cooler on the 13400 or a small tower cooler, and on the 13600K, it's tower cooler or Assassin. 13900K, we'd recommend installing prayers, or a 240mm plus rad or a premium
Install
tower cooler.
prayers.
Now in time.
That's too funny. Well, little kitty cat. This cat just jumped up here like she owns the fucking place. It's pretty rude right now. Well, hello, girl. I love you too. Hello, baby. Here, let's see if we can get you on camera. Oh, little bumps. Here, dear. Hi. Can you say hi to everyone? Everyone can see you then. Hi. Oh, you wanna go in there? You wanna go in here. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, my little kitty girl? You just need some attention? Oh, yeah, Morgan. Okay, I'll put this back here. All right, there. My little kitty just wanted some attention. I was gonna bring you a little bit closer here, kitty. There we go. There, I brought the cat a little bit closer to me, so now I can just like reach the cat from where I'm sitting. She's happier now.
Our intention is to refine our testing methodologies and build a database of results just like this on the LTV Labs website. But for now, hopefully this video has narrowed your search. Now, get on out of here, you scamp, and spend that money you saved on something that will keep you cool, like ice cream for your friends. Must be nice to have friends. I don't. But I do have our sponsor.
Backblaze. Backblaze is an affordable and easy to use cloud backup solution that starts at just $7 a month. And they make it simple by
All right, yeah, let's watch a mystery recapped video. I don't know. Let's see. Men enforce them. You know what? Yeah, I don't even.
Caden Richards is a college-going teenager who has it all. He is good-looking, is the star of the college football team, and has the hottest girlfriend around. However, he holds a dark secret which no one knows of. Caden is actually a werewolf, meaning that he can supernaturally morph into a giant wolf on a full moon night. In the opening scene, Caden and his team are seen dismantling their opponents in a football match. Because of his super athletic abilities, he is easily getting the points for his team. Unfortunately, this angers the opposite captain, so he launches an attack on Caden and breaks his nose. Enraged, our werewolf protagonist retaliates and beats the guy to a pulp, shocking everyone around, except everyone who's fans of werewolves. The following night, Caden takes his girlfriend to a secluded spot and starts making out with her in the car. Coincidentally, it is a full moon night, and when the cloud clears, Caden starts turning into a ferocious werewolf. As expected, this terrifies the girl, and she runs away from there in an instant, but we all know she's super turned on. Caden's problems continue to pile up, as the next morning he wakes up in his room and finds that he has massacred both his parents. Caden is completely taken aback by the sight, but before he can even process the incident, his girlfriend arrives outside with the cops. This act of betrayal infuriates Caden, so he once again turns into a werewolf. But instead of attacking his girlfriend, he uses his superhuman abilities to escape the place without being detected. Unfortunately, he is labeled a murderer all over the news, and the entire country begins looking for him. I'm sorry, this is so silly. After evading cops the whole day, Caden reaches another city at night where he sees two bikers trying to assault a girl. He politely orders them to stop, but when they don't listen, he turns into his other form and finishes them off brutally. This obviously scares the girl, so she runs away from there. Caden also realizes the damage that he has caused, prompting him to steal a bike and escape. Some hours later, he arrives at a bar and starts drinking to drown his sorrows. Meanwhile, a shady-looking guy approaches him and initiates a conversation. He introduces himself as Joe and shockingly reveals that he too is a werewolf. He further explains that he knows about Caden's secret as well. According to Joe, there are many werewolves like them out there, and many of them have disguised themselves well into society. Curious, Caden wonders how he turned into one, despite the fact that he has never been bitten before. However, Joe doesn't answer any of his questions and prepares to leave. Before exiting the bar though, he leads Caden to a certain town, saying that he will get all his answers there. Why'd I kill my parents? Because you're an asshole. In the next scene, Caden arrives at the said town and enters yet another bar. Surprisingly, all the people there start staring at him. Among them is a menacing looking guy named Connor. Caden ignores all this and starts flirting with the beautiful bartender, Angel. But before he can get to know her better, a drunk guy approaches him and tries to initiate a fight. Soon his friends also join and the situation becomes tense. However, Caden, who is already a wanted criminal, backs out, not wanting to cause any commotion. He leaves the bar silently, but waits near the bushes to exact revenge. An hour later, the drunk guy also leaves, and when he is alone, Caden confronts him about the earlier incident. Suddenly, the guy starts changing into a werewolf. He then prepares to attack Caden, but our protagonist seems to be simply too powerful. He beats the hell out of the drunk guy, making him pee his pants, just like a werewolf do.
Here?
After this, as Caden reaches his bike, an old man suddenly shows up. He introduces himself as John and offers the boy a job at his farm. Caden, who is desperate for a place to live, immediately accepts the offer. From the next morning, he starts working on the farm and gives it his all. It appears as if Caden is finally going to turn a corner, but one morning, the menacing-looking guy from the bar, Connor, shows up. He confronts John and inquires why he appointed a stranger for the job. In response, the old farmer lies that the boy is his nephew. Connor doesn't believe this, and also mentions that his friend was beaten up by Caden, but the duo denies this. Seemingly out of questions, Connor leaves, but he warns the boy that he will keep an eye on him. That night, as Caden is heading to the bar, a guy suddenly approaches him claiming that he is his nephew. He also warns Caden that he should leave town as soon as possible, because if Connor finds out about his real identity, he will be killed. The guy then proceeds to introduce himself, but right then, Connor shouts from afar. This frightens the guy and he quickly runs away, while a confused Caden enters the bar and starts chatting with Angel. Angel is just so hot. Later, we see that Connor and his gang have captured the guy and are questioning him in the middle of the woods. They ask what he said to Caden earlier, but the guy doesn't open his mouth out of fear. Enraged, Connor decides to play a brutal game. He orders the guy to run into the woods, and after a few seconds, the entire gang starts chasing after him. Elsewhere, as Caden is returning home on his bike, he hears the guy screaming for help. He quickly decides to help and enters the woods, where he surprisingly comes across Angel. It turns out she also followed the gang after hearing the noises. The two then venture deep into the woods and come across a gruesome sight. Connor and his gang have killed the guy and are now devouring him, bit by bit. This reveals that all of them are werewolves. Angel, who is used to such incidents in the town, doesn't even flinch, but Caden is disgusted and he throws up. To his surprise, Angel already knows that he is a werewolf too. I love werewolves. Following this, the two return home, where John and his wife Clara are watching the news about Caden's apparent murders. Realizing that his cover has been blown, Caden apologizes and prepares to leave, but right then, Clara hugs him tightly, saying, "It is not your fault." Then John steps forward and dishes out a shocking revelation. He explains that Caden's mother Tina was a pure-blooded werewolf from this very town. Her enchanting looks and warm personality made all the men fall in love with her, and Connor was no exception. He asked Tina to be his wife, and when she declined, he forced himself onto her and made her pregnant. This is how Caden was born. But afraid of the backlash, Tina was hidden in the basement, and Caden was given up for adoption to a loving couple. A month later, Tina couldn't bear the pain anymore and she committed the unthinkable. The news eventually reached Connor and he became more violent and bit a lot of humans, turning them into werewolves. Now he operates a large gang and his only mission is to breed with the only pure-blooded female in town, who happens to be Angel.
And who wouldn't want to breed with her, you know what I'm saying?
John further explains that the werewolves are of two types, pureblood and hybrid. Caden is one of the pure-blooded ones, and this explains why he is so strong. On the other hand, the hybrid wolves are much weaker. Hearing all this, Caden is left speechless, but he finally understands how he became who he is today. Sometime later, Caden, along with Angel, head to the barn, where they continue their conversation. The latter reveals that she is voluntarily going to offer herself to Connor, so that the brutality can come to an end, and also because she just wants that werewolf D. However, Caden is totally against it. This is because he has started to harbor feelings for her. Surprisingly, in the heat of the moment, they end up making out. Caden turns into a werewolf because werewolves are really just a clever metaphor for boners, but even this does not stop.
My guy.
Stop the two from having coitus. Once they are done, a reinvigorated Caden heads to Connor's hideout and confronts him. He reveals that he is Tina's son and warns Connor to stay away from Angel. Unfortunately, the evil werewolf doesn't believe it, and he instead sends his men after the boy. With this, an intense fight ensues in the woods, and Caden, who is a pure blood, takes down all the hybrid wolves one after another. But just when he is about to emerge victorious, Connor arrives there in his deadly wolf form and attacks attacks him. At last, Caden is overpowered and cornered, and in order to save himself, he has no choice but to jump off a cliff. This breaks almost all the bones in his body, and just when it appears as if he is going to pass away, Joe suddenly arrives and urges him to get up. Caden, who is still in a state of shock, slowly gets to his feet, but when he looks around, no one is there. It turns out that he was hallucinating earlier. Caden then staggers on for a while until Angel arrives there and rescues him. The next morning, we see him lying in bed with bruises and cuts all over his body. John asks him to turn into a werewolf, as it is the only way to heal, but Caden is unable to do so. Hence, Angel springs into action and kisses him, once again arousing the werewolf inside his body. The plan works, and all the bruises on his body instantly start healing. Following this, Caden, along with the help of John, starts plotting to finish off Connor once and for all. They head to the warehouse and prepare some explosives, which they then seal inside of bags and bury in the fields. The plan is to summon Connor and his gang near the explosives and blow them up at the right moment. Later, as Caden is busy in the fields, he suddenly hears Angel's screams.
This whole
Terrified,
thing went from
he immediately rushes inside the house, only to realize that Connor has kidnapped her, along with John, Clara, and their daughter. He is also...
Jesus Christ, now there's kidnapping involved. What the fuck is going on? This whole goddamn... This story is just a wild fucking throwdown of just random shit going on this entire time. Wait, this mystery recap, I don't even know where the hell this guy is pulling these stories. Where the hell do you watch this normally? This is crazy.
Left a note, which invites Caden to the mating ceremony between Connor and Angel that night. In the next scene, we see that it is a full moon night, and the ceremony has already begun. John and his family are locked inside a cage, while Angel is brought out on a wooden stretcher. Connor excitedly looks at her, ready to have vigorous intimacy. Just then, two of his henchmen are attacked nearby and killed. It is none other than Caden, who has arrived in his most deadliest form. Caden immediately orders his men to attack him, but all of them are of no match. An enraged Caden single-handedly defeats all of them before freeing Angel from her shackles. Surprisingly, due to the full moon, she too turns into a werewolf and starts attacking the other hybrid wolves. At an opportune moment, she then frees John and his family from the cage before fleeing into the woods. Later, Caden manages to lure the bad guys into the farm, where John is already waiting with a rifle in his hand. As per the plan, he shoots at the mines and blows up the ground, killing some of the werewolves in the process. Unfortunately, this only infuriates Connor, and he goes on a rampage to find the culprits. When he spots Caden in the barn, he immediately enters inside with his men, but unbeknownst to them, this was only a trap. Caden securely exits through another door and seals the entire barn, trapping Connor and his men inside. Then, John shoots at one of the explosives inside, blowing up the entire place. This is enough to kill all the henchmen, but Connor remains unscathed.
Have you seen these abs? Impenetrable.
Following this, an intense fight ensues between Caden and Connor. The two, both being pure-blooded werewolves, match each other stride for stride and dish out brutal punishments on each other. But in the end, it is Caden who comes out on top, due to his sheer determination to avenge his mother and all the loved ones that have been taken from him. As Connor lies on the ground, injured and defeated, he reveals something shocking. It turns out that he and Tina were actually in love with each other, and they made romance with mutual consent. However, after Tina's death, her father became enraged and spread false rumors that Connor forced himself onto her. Caden is left stunned by the information, and as he is contemplating on what to do next, the shady guy from earlier, Joe, suddenly appears. Friggin' Joe, everybody. With a grin on his face, he reveals that this was all his plan. When he learned of Caden's whereabouts, he killed his adoptive parents and lured him into this town. He then manipulated the boy into starting a war with Connor and ultimately killing him. Joe reveals that he did all of this because he wanted to exact revenge on Connor, who humiliated and exiled him from the town. Since he was not strong enough to do so, he turned to Caden. Hearing all this, Caden becomes enraged and tries to attack Joe, but he is quickly knocked out. Then the evil guy proceeds towards a weakened Connor and finishes him off with a deadly claw to the throat. After this, he proceeds to strangle Caden to death. But before he can complete the task, John shoots him in the hand. This forces Joe to retreat. However, he cannot reach far as Caden tackles him to the ground. The two werewolves then face each other in an intense stare down. Joe pulls out a cigarette and starts smoking, but Caden quickly throws it to the ground and backs away.
Smoking kills.
Surprisingly, it turns out to be a part of the plan, as there is a mine directly beneath Joe. The cigarette
Nice.
ignites it, and by the time Joe catches wind of this, it is already too late. The next second, he is blown to smithereens, finally bringing an end to the chaos. The movie ends as Caden and Angel depart the town the following morning, hoping that they can find the other pure-blooded werewolves and unite with them. But let's be real, who cares if they find the others? They're going to make sweet werewolf love for the rest of their lives.
Also, let's be honest, that title had absolutely nothing to do with the content. Like, man, did that have nothing to do with the content. That is okay. I will be right back. Need to do another bio run. Zoom. Oh, let's get back into it. Let's do some LinkedIn, huh? I do need to start looking up some. I do need to start looking up some full-time remote jobs. See what I can find. Let's see here. We have an immediate opening for help desk technician to join our talented team. Support a federal client. You know, the only thing with the federal clients is they usually do the whole drug testing, and they usually hit for marijuana, which is stupid. But let's at least go over this. So, sport resolution from tier 1 sports staff working directly with users. Maintain documentation, development, adhere, simulate, and recreate customer issues, develop and maintain program artifacts. Ensure proactive communication. Actively liaise with technical, federal, and vendor escalations. Participate in on-call support. Recommend system modifications if required to reduce user problems. Promote and encourage one-team attitude. That's not bad. CompTIA plus or Security plus. Okay. I actually is genuinely thinking about going for Security plus. Like, I had an A plus. I could get it again. Not that hard, but it's also just a lot of money that I don't want to waste right now. Like, if the job wants me to have it, sure, I'll pay for it. I'll get it, whatever. But like the security one, though, now that would be nice to have. That's easier to turn heads with. BMC Remedy Experience. That's actually the system that we're in right now. ServiceNow Experience Plus. ServiceNow is one of the softwares that one of my previous people worked with. That was, at the time, was the premier ticketing system. As of today, I don't know if it's still the best anymore, because shit's changed. I ain't gonna lie. It might not be the best anymore. I do know it was heavily monetized though. And that can often be a problem. Let's see. Working cybersecurity requirements, policies, Tier 4 high risk public trust clearance. I don't even know. I feel like if you've ever had a Facebook or Twitter account, you cannot you should not be allowed to qualify for public trust clearance. Oh shit. I'm just saying, man. Maybe it's me. At A, you'll have the chance to build a career as unique as you are with the global scale support, inclusive culture, technology to become the best version of you, and we're counting on your unique voice perspective to help A become. I'm just going to say that this way the whole time. Oh, well, you know what? This is just their usual spiel. So many companies put all this nonsense in here. What's the job? What's the job? Remote estimation performed within continental U.S. in our globalizing economy of senior destiny to be a highly skilled senior role with technical expertise. As the senior desktop engineer for GPS, you'll be responsible to ensure learning the best. I mean, was this just like executive level handling? Like, I don't. Implementing long-term product roadmaps. Vehicles, vendors travel to support change your plan project activities. Yeah, that's just like an actual on-site tech. Like, you need someone. Ability to obtain and maintain top secret clearance. Jeez. Has troubleshooting skills. Modern OS deployment via DEMs and autopilot. Damn, I don't know that, but I would love to learn. Absolutely would. Like the imaging system deployment, that stuff is a huge thing. I'd love to go into that. That's one of the ways, or one of the paths, rather, forward that I'm looking into, as it were. One of the jobs I'm even looking up right now is that, so. Never hurts. Highly regulated environments. I mean, honestly, I've been doing the healthcare thing, and whew, yeah, they regulate the shit out of this industry. The healthcare industry is so regulated. Everything has to be done so specifically. That's why it's like, oh man, you use ChatGPT in a medical job? Like, yes, I know how, because I know how to anonymize things. You have to, like, all that stuff is crazy. But it can be done. It can be done. But yes, it is quite a thing. This actually doesn't seem like a terrible job. This seems... I might have to throw this up on my actual to-do later list. Here, give me a second, guys. I am going to throw this somewhere. Now, they say Tampa remote. I wonder if they... 47 applicants 1 month ago. Yeah, we'll see how this... that's usually a hard one to get into then. Let's see, level 2 service technician. We'll get back to this one. Close that because I now have it in this browser here. Okay. Got that where I wanted that to go. So let's do this here. Eh. Like, ah. Man, this white light is just absolutely nuking my face for the camera. The sensor's like, what is going on? You're so freaking bright. But I'm not. It's actually like struggling. This is genuinely probably one of the worst situations I could put on this camera right now. So, oh, let's see here. Support engineer, partner care help, support specialist. Salesforce experience. EHR support analyst 2. South Tampa Hospital. But what applications? Is it like a Epic environment? Is it Mosaic? Aria? Like what's you working with here? You gotta service desk analyst. This is a Tampa hybrid, huh? Seeing again, I don't know if I want to do hybrid. And plus, I don't know if I really want to. Like, I'm not genuinely looking for jobs that require having to sit here. I want full remote. Like, I just don't think I can do the on-site thing. Like, it's just such a waste. Having to drive into the office all the time. Ugh, sucks. All support routines, troubleshooting, resolving overreach, managing user accounts, GP, and licensing, utilizing IT. I mean, it's just looking for desktop support. Springfield, Virginia. You know what? Never hurts to at least apply. This one. Let me get over to this side on this one as well. Got to put it in the save later. It's like when your fingers get off the home row key and it's like, it's just everything is mistyped. Upload the resume. Here's my resume. I am not a robot. I think this just has one hit. Guess I can't sign into it. Okay, whatever. Well, sucks for that. Anyway. Blows. Jeez. See, and that's why some jobs don't get a lot of applicants. You make the process too difficult, or it's just not able to be accessed easily. And I won't lie, there's a lot of people that aren't going to sit around and try to figure it out. Like, a lot of people are just going to continue on. IT Network Engineer Senior. Jeez. We offer competitive pay and excellent benefits at Ashley Furniture. Okay. I mean, I guess it depends on the position. I guess some of the positions they did. I know in the positions I was at for them, they didn't. But, hey, whatever. Information technology asset manager, hardware, remote opportunity. And that's an asset manager is a remote opportunity. How can you remotely manage assets? This is... It's literally just an IT inventory job. I mean, it's not like it's bad. It's just inventory. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna stop looking at that because that's gonna make my brain melt. I injured a beautiful girl when I told her I'll do anything she asked me to marry. What in the fuck? Oh, I love Amanese. They just go crazy, making random shit up. Let's see this one. Let's do it.
My name is Kent Watanabe. I don't mean to brag, but I have always been quick-tempered, and in junior high, I was always getting into fights. Rumors spread throughout high school, and people often tried to pick a fight with me, but I decided...
Did anyone ever, like, actually know anyone that just was constantly fighting as a kid? Like, I don't think I know anyone that was fighting.
And looks in her grade, but we only pass each other on our way to and from school. She's super mysterious. If I get in a fight again, I'll get kicked out of school. I will never be able to see her. Hey! Well, if it isn't Chirao from Higashi High. What, are you here to tell me to rise and shine? What? No, you're invincible. But today is the day I'm going to beat your ass and become the king of this town. I ain't bragging like a champion, so just leave me alone, all right? Well, I guess I gotta do this then. Whoops, my hand slipped. What the? Hey, watch out! Move out of the way!
Huh?
Oh God, I'm not gonna make it. And why in the world does it have to be her?
It's all right.
What? 1 hour later.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Ambushed by Chirao.
What the what? What? No, this whole story just went from what to what. No. This is what?
Raro, Reen and I fell down the stairs. Since I'm a strong person, I was only grazed, but she was taken to the hospital. Oh man, this is all my fault. I gotta apologize ASAP. I am so sorry about what happened. Oh, I'm the guy from the same school, Watanabe.
Yeah, I know who you are, Kent Watanabe. According to my research, you're a
daggone
lone wolf
Watanabe.
who was a bad boy and never lost a single fight. And you also bear the brunt of a vendetta from Higashi High. So, you're the guy who injured my right eye and make me broke and dislocate my right ankle, right?
Ouch.
Whoa.
I'm kidding, I was just messing with you. I saw you get pushed and it was that guy from Higashi High, right? But it's hard to believe that even a bad boy like you looks so scared.
Man, what is up with her?
Well, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that you're not responsible for this. And besides, even I...
Reen? Are you alright? I heard you fell down the stairs.
Oh, Dad, I'm fine. So this guy right here is Kent Watanabe.
What? You're the guy who harmed my precious little angel who I raised all by myself.
Dad, calm down, it's not his fault.
What? Really? She explained what happened to her dad, who rushed to the hospital and thought that things had been cleared up. But... Sorry that I doubted you. Oh, no, sir. As a matter of fact, I was indeed the one who caused this, so... Nah, come on. You're the victim, too. And I don't mean to blame you.
Excuse me? I never said I would forgive him.
What?
Oh, well, given the degree of my injury, I'll probably not be able to go to school for a while. Hey, by the way, you go to the same school as me, right?
Yeah, of course. I will look after her. I will do anything.
So... Kent has officially become my caretaker.
Huh?
Dad, you don't have to worry about anything and you can go back to work.
Yeah, but...
I heard that it's tough right now, isn't it? I will manage these bills with the insurance. Okay then, now go back to work.
You sure? Well, I mean, he seems reliable, so... Oh boy, he actually went.
Well, it was so nice to meet with you, my darling Kent.
What the? Seriously, what is up with this girl? And just like that, my days as a caretaker for Reen had begun. Since that day, as soon as I finished school, I would bring all the homework and papers and rush to her hospital room. Of course, I was still furious about Chiraro, but that was out of the question right now. I have been curious about it for a while. Mysterious. What is on her mind?
There, homework done. What about you, Kent?
Whoa, hold on. I don't understand. Why in the world do I have to study even after school?
You're so quick-tempered. Here, I'll teach you.
What? Like, I don't need your...
See? That's how you do it.
Hey, what are you...
Well now, we don't know who's the actual caretaker, huh?
Man, she's adorable. The invincible Kent Watanabe being mesmerized and wavered. And even after that, Reen went through a surgery to insert a bolt as if it was nothing but a piece of cake, and she's steadily recovering. Of course, I still feel sorry, but day after day, I have started to become attracted to her inscrutable and crazy aspect.
Kent, next we're going to master the S-curve.
Yo, this ain't a driving school. I'm gonna take a break for a second.
What? That's all you got? The invincible Kent Watanabe?
All right. I will teach you parallel parking, okay?
Yahoo!
Reen? Kent? Oh, hi, Mr. Saito. It's been a while. Well, you know
What is this scene? So this dude is here. He's just hanging out with him. The daughter is just in this, just like by herself, just over here. Like, yep, she's the reason we're here.
I really want to thank you for helping us out like this. It's been pretty tough recently, so. According to her dad, I found out that Reen lost her mother when she was little. I'm always paranoid, and I should mind my own business. But, you know, I can't keep relying on you like this. Oh, no, sir,
Kent, now lift me up to the sky! Lift my wheelchair!
Yes, ma'am. Like, come on. You really think I could lift you up like that?
Then I'll put a jet engine on my wheelchair.
Reen, stop causing trouble for Kent. Oh no, I'm not bothered, sir. And besides, you two are from the same school, right? Well, I mean, yeah, right? Because the only reason I'm looking after her is...
Kent, there's a rock up ahead.
What? Oh, wow! Man, that was close. Sorry, Reen. You okay?
Kent, let's get married.
Ah, thank God. Wait, what?
I mean, if we become couples, we cause each other troubles, right, Dad?
Nah, it ain't that simple. Oh my, I didn't know you two were that close already. Mr. Saito? Kent, please take good care of her. Hey, honey.
Wow, that
our daughter's
escalated.
getting married. What?
Oh, Dad, you're such a simple-minded person. Oh, Kent, don't worry about it, okay? He has to say that, or otherwise he'll always be worried about me.
Reen?
I love my dad and I care about him so much. But his job as a manager at the factory seems pretty tough, and I wanted to focus on that.
Wow, I've never seen her face like this.
Well then, you might think don't be injured in the first place, right? Because the moment you fell down on me, I found myself thinking in my head like, what if I was able to be absent from school, you know?
Oh, that's why she said it's all right.
I just really hate school. I don't know why, but I just can't get along with anyone. But every time I saw you at school and at the station, I realized that this guy's also always alone. He has to be like me. Like, you were the first person like that whom I ever met.
Reen.
Well, anyways, the marriage thing was too much, huh? Like Dad said, I might as well just be alone and...
No! Reen, can I just be with you a little longer?
Hello!
You know, to tell the truth, I've always been kind of into you. I still haven't figured you out yet, but I feel like I can really change myself being with you.
Can't? Alright. But only if you can follow these 3 rules.
What?
Rule number 1, never get into a fight. Rule number 2, manage your temper.
Oh, man.
And rule number 3, always stay by my side. Got it?
Fine, I got it.
Aww.
After that,
How cute.
Reen was able to leave the hospital and finally take her eye patch off, but she still had to be in a wheelchair for the next 2 months. So our days going to and from school together had started. All right, see ya, Reen.
See,
I
that's
will
just
see you
cute
after
as
school.
No.
What?
No, what?
No! That's against our 3 rules.
Well, actually, you're breaking the school rules.
Oh? So a punk follows school rules now?
Jesus, I ain't a punk.
Oh, boy.
Man, she's cute. Recess. Boo-hoo, I can't get her off my mind. Guess I'll go check on her, huh?
Reen? If it's okay with you, can I help?
Yeah, her guard's up pretty high.
Kent! Let's have lunch together. It's always been my dream.
Sweet, and cute as usual. Hey, be careful. Don't run.
I'm not running, I'm sliding.
And those days flew by super fast. and I realized it's already been months. I've learned how to use the wheelchair, and on the weekends, we even hang out together in town. When you're able to walk again, I'll buy that for you.
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
been
then
months.
let's go.
What's wrong with her?
Yo, hey.
Like, does she
Damn
snap
it.
her back?
Watch where you're going.
Like, shoot.
Are you serious? What were you gonna do if something had happened to my girlfriend?
Kent,
Huh?
don't get in a fight, darling.
Um,
Come on. You want to marry me, right?
yes,
Aw,
of course.
that's so
I'll do anything.
cute.
I am really sorry about that, homie. I promise I'll be more careful from next time.
Yeah, no worries, bro. We'll be careful too. Sorry about that.
See? That went well. It's all about respect.
As I was thoroughly complying with those 3 rules, we went to many places. It feels as if I was supporting her, but at the same time, I was also being supported by her, and it just felt so comfortable. I was determined to change myself and become a man worthy of her.
Hell
Dad,
yeah.
I'm home. I'll make some tea.
Oh, hey, Kent. Thank you for always being there for her. But man, I bet you have to deal with a lot, don't you? Because you know she's kind of weird.
Yes, sir, more than you can imagine. But I mean, that's what I kind of like about her.
Really? Well, I'm glad to hear that. She has always been smart, but she just doesn't open her heart to anyone. And she's never even had a friend.
I see.
But when she's with you, she's completely a different person, you know. Always smiling from the bottom of her heart. And I just really want to thank you. And by the way, about that marriage, I'm sure she said that just to make me feel reassured. But if you're really serious about this,
Yes, absolutely, sir. I mean, that's why we have these 3 rules.
3 rules? Well, whatever that is, I'm really counting and relying on you, man to man. But Jesus, that guy, Yabasugi, he never even showed up or said a single word of apology.
Kent, look. The single stem is almost gonna float vertically. I guess the luck is on our side.
Really? Gotcha. Well, let's get going.
Come on, you can do it.
I'm serious about this marriage, and that is why I have to become straight as an arrow.
Hey, it did it. It's standing.
That reminds me of Clara's line from Heidi. It's been a while since Reen left the hospital. And one day after school, when graduation was coming up, I didn't dilly-dally and took Reen straight home.
Can't you stay for dinner?
Nah, I just got some things to do. I'll be back ASAP. Just wait a sec. I'll be back, I promise. 15 minutes later.
Well, you're finally here to put an end to this.
I told you to come alone. Nah, screw it. I ain't here to fight. Chirao, please. I need you to apologize to Reen with me.
What?
I admit that it all started with me, and I regret that. If I just think about her dad, it makes me want to apologize more with you.
Man, what on earth are you saying, man? I did nothing wrong. First of all, are you even worth anything without fighting? Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Guys, do it. All right.
Gotta keep a promise.
So, is this the invincible Kent?
Please, all you have to do is just apologize.
Huh. Well then, let's get this over with.
Kent!
Why?
Huh? Oh, it's that girl. Whatever. Now let's just finish this off.
Don't come. Just stay there.
But,
Reen, your leg.
well, to tell the truth, the doctor just told me I don't need my wheelchair anymore.
What?
But I was worried that if I was able to walk, he would no longer want to be with me anymore.
What are you saying? Of course not.
I know.
Oh, am I like a cupid here? Okay then, I might as well just put both of you in the hospital.
Hey, you ain't
Warning,
allowed to
Captain.
say
1 hour
that.
mark.
You know
Please
that.
take a break if needed.
Kent?
Sorry, Reen. Seems like I can't keep this promise, but I swear to God, I'll protect you.
Huh?
You, come on, show me what you got. I will straighten you out.
Oh man, he's
Well,
gonna get all big and badass.
Look who's
Hell
finally
yeah.
on board. Hey guys, go get him. Like, what?
How?
You're that strong?
Phew. Well, I guess you're the last one, Chararo.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna ask you one last time. Can you apologize to Reen?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I beg you.
Next is her dad. Come on, follow me. Let's go, Reen.
That was so hot.
After that, Chararo cried and begged for forgiveness from her father kneeling on the ground. And I also apologized. But her dad didn't bother to notice me and was letting Chararo have it. He was released by agreeing to the next 3 rules. First, never get near Ring or me. Second, never get in a fight. And lastly, leave town after graduation. Well, the Saito family sure loves the 3 rules. Ouch!
Oh, sorry. I know it hurts.
Nah, I mean, I'm sorry too. You know that I wasn't able to keep a promise. Actually, I'm not worthy of marrying you.
Come on, what are you saying? That wasn't a fight. You did that to protect me. That wasn't from rage but love, right?
I just wanted to interrupt for a second. I just peeled back like the blanket over my cat, and she is just passed the F out upside down right now. It is so damn cute. I would love to try to move the camera, but there's no way I'll be able to get it over there because the cable's too short. Oh, man. I'm going to fix that at some point, so that will not be a thing anymore because this... Oh, man. I'm actually upset that I cannot move this camera down there because this cat is being so cute. Cute, everybody, cute. It's killing me with cuteness, you know.
The thing that you left without saying anything was, but I mean, if you're gonna be by my side forever, I'll forgive you for everything, my love.
Reen, I'm letting you know you're always gonna be with me.
Oh, I love you so much, Ken, my love. Hey, Dad, actually, I'm gonna get married.
Did you hear that, honey?
But you know, how can you be such a nice person? He didn't even seem to be sorry.
Huh? I never said I'm gonna forgive that guy?
What? As soon as Reen was able to walk, the place she went right away was the police. So after Reen explained everything that happened, she demanded to see the footage of the security camera in the station. Based on the evidence that Chararo had pushed her, she claimed several compensations. Later, a whimpering Chararo was taken by his parents and had reached an agreement under the condition of apologizing, compensating, and to keep complying with the 3 rules.
Wow.
On the other hand, we finally graduated from high school successfully, and...
Man, thanks to you, Kent, our business is doing great.
Oh no, Mr. Saito, it's nothing. And besides, it wasn't because of me, but...
Hey, darling. You've gotta be tired, darling.
Oh,
Dinner's ready.
yeah.
Oh, you wanna take a bath together first, my love?
Let's say take a bath first.
Well then, carry this, darling.
Gotcha. My precious love, Reen, becoming part of the factory's management by taking use of her brain. Of course, I'll be following
By
those
taking
3
use
rules
of her
for the
brain?
rest of my life.
Oh, man. I love the English they sometimes get. It's so good.
Hi, it's me.
And I also, like, just love the voice actors for just leaving it in. Like they see the text, they know they could say it correctly, but no. They say it exactly as written because they're a damn voice actor and they know exactly what their role is. They need to say exactly what is written there as it is written. Oh man, I love it. Let's do a little bit of the WAN show, I suppose. Also need to go buy also.
What is up, L's and W's, and welcome to the WAN Show. We've got a great show lined up for you guys today. Lots of great topics, actually, including what? Discord. Discord is taking away the 4-digit numbers at the end of username.
How could they do this?
You can't be Luke number 8,642.
I was Luke 0001, and they took it away from me.
No way.
I have no idea why.
They must have given it to a more important Luke.
Probably.
Yeah.
Rude.
Probably Luke Wilson. In other news, EA is blaming gamers for using high-end hardware on Windows 10 for Star Wars Jedi Survivor performance issues. We're going to be getting into that. What else we got today?
That's the one I wanted to talk about.
And you got wrecked.
The Pixel Fold was officially announced after, just like every other Pixel device, it was leaked to Wow.
It's a folding phone.
That's a man that wants to replace his phone. Also, OBS adds AV1 for YouTube live streams, which is actually huge. We'll talk about that.
Actually huge. Not huge, but like we're lying to you.
Huge.
Actually huge.
Huge.
Oh, just being weird, everyone. Hello.
The show is brought to you today by Hot Wheels Rift Rally, Zoho One, and Squarespace. Why don't we jump right into our headline topic, which I completely forget what it is. Right, Discord.
I
have to change my name.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
This is written. Okay, let's go through the facts
mad
first.
Frenzy.
Okay, our original article here is from The Verge, but also from Discord themselves. This is not
didn't
fake
have
news.
to change my name.
Discord usernames will be evolving. So instead of Phoebe hashtag 8936, Phoebe probably.
Pretty sure.
Now we're gonna be Phoebe handle at Phoebe is cool, because you are obviously not going to get at Phoebe, which I think the idea here is that it's going to make usernames easier to share. But we know from experience, right?
The people just camp them and stuff. Every creator's name is just going to be gone.
Yeah, up to literally thousands of numbers after it. I mean, I learned this way back when having a good @hotmail.com email address was a mark of being kind of cool and with it.
Oh, yeah.
I was cool and with it. And then the same thing happened with Gmail. And then the same thing happened with Twitter. And now they're...
Look, I still have my Hotmail address because I just don't want to keep having new services all the time, new addresses, new things to go to. Like, man, I'm just vtklaser@hotmail.com. I can say that out right now. I don't care. Why do I not care? Because I get like a bazillion freaking spam things anyway. The account's like 25 years old. Of course it gets spam.
Saying, that seems like a good system.
Let's follow those guys.
We solved that before, but let's unsolve it. Let's go back to the just at and a string of characters. So in theory, I kind of see where they're coming from, because as a brand new user, there are certain aspects of Discord's user interface and user experience.
He struggles with it so much. He can literally barely use Discord. It's actually very weird, because you're usually very good and nimble in different user interfaces, and you hit Discord, it's just like...
There are certain things I do find incredibly confusing, like the fact that all of your individual chats are like
mixed in with the servers and stuff. And,
it took me a little while to kind of wrap my brain around it, but you haven't seen me try to use Discord in quite some time. I'm fairly proficient these days.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things that was a little bit confusing for me was the hashtag numbers, because I didn't, coming into it completely cold, not looking at how to Discord guide and not really having anyone show me how. I was just sitting there trying to like set it up, because I think the main reason...
You needed a tech tip.
No, I think the reason I got it first was because we added a Discord. Like Jake created the LTT Discord.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well, I should probably...
I should finally use this.
Have an account or something. I hadn't really gamed with friends in a very long time, like since I used Mumble with my group of friends. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, this newfangled
especially
Discord.
when the kids were quite young, you were pretty...
Oh yeah, they weren't touching it yet.
Yeah, and you were offline.
Yeah, I
basically,
showed
for a
them
while.
how to use Discord. Like that came way later.
Yeah.
And so this hashtag number thing was actually a little bit confusing. And unless you're copy pasting, it's a little bit harder to remember. I mean, obviously, it's not nearly as hard as remembering your ICQ number back in the day.
2653409. Wow. I still remember that. 2655309. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Fair enough. But like, I don't know my numbers on Discord.
But then here's the thing. If the intent here is to make things more shareable, make them easier to understand, we know that users are going to fill their ats with special characters and with numbers anyway. And we know that remembering a 4-digit number is not actually a huge problem.
And you can individually change your nickname on every server and every chat anyways.
I mean,
so
Luke,
just knowing someone's name isn't going to matter.
Phone numbers here in the Lower Mainland used to be 7 numbers. Do you know your first 7-digit phone number that you ever had, like your home phone?
Yes.
Addresses, street addresses, are 5 numeric digits here.
8985956.
Do you remember the
my
4 to
original
5
phone.
number? Okay.
Yeah.
Some numbers, Wisconsin.
This is not a huge problem. And, okay, again, I haven't even gone through the facts here, but one of the things that I've seen, at least speculated, we'll get into facts in a second. For now, I'm just angry. I'm not even angry. I'm just...
Like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
I'm asking why.
Yeah.
And so one of the... What's a fact here is that it's not that hard, and it's not an unreasonable expectation, and it's not a new thing to expect people to remember a 4-digit number, and that's perfectly fine. And so the fact that you're now changing it is going to sow a lot of discord.
Very good. Ding.
On the platform.
Aw, too late. Hey!
All seemingly in the name of making it more user-friendly in a way that, quite honestly, if I go back even further, as a non-user of the system, I found extremely confusing when I first got set up on Twitter. Whenever I would read a tweet, I would read the symbol as @. So when I'm reading along and it's like, hey @Luke, I something. That's how I would read it. I came into Twitter pretty late as well. Anyway, let's see
Were
what
you
the
late
rationale
on Twitter?
is.
Really?
Oh yeah, super late. I basically ignored it. I was like, I don't feel like dealing with this.
You were definitely on Twitter in 2012.
Yes.
Because our first back and forth direct message interaction is hilarious.
Oh. I don't remember this.
Don't read it.
Why?
Read it later.
Okay, sure. I don't know. Joined November 2011. When did Twitter start? 2006.
Whoa.
Right?
Okay, but did like anyone use it at that time?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah. So it's really funny because I think the only reason I started Twitter, and the timing seems about right. With 2011, it would have been when the LTT channel was starting to kind of gain some momentum, and I was looking at it going like, I should probably have some kind of presence online other than this. And it was probably around the time that NCIX was starting to build up a Twitter presence, because all of a sudden companies being on social media was a thing, so that you could respond to people, generating hate storms, complaining about you and that sort of thing, which is still what it's used for today, which is fantastic. Okay, so let's go through the facts here now that I've talked through how sort of flabbergasting I'm finding this. I don't know if that's a word. Discord has announced it will be changing its current username system, which uses a 4-digit tag to differentiate users with the same name. This likely means that many users will have to change their usernames due to possible duplication. And, okay, in fairness, this is another thing that is a little bit confusing about the 4-digit numbers, is that when you are searching for someone, if you don't have their digits, it can bring up a lot of garbage results. And that's valid. The company will prioritize longtime users in line for name changes, and users will still be able to use a non-unique screen name in addition to their username. Discord noted that while the original system was created to allow users to use whatever name they wanted, the tag system was often too complicated or obscure to remember, causing confusion and unnecessary difficulty finding other users. Now, this is huge. This is a really important note in our notes here. Of course, many current Discord users do not necessarily want to be easy to find. This is so huge. On the one hand, I can see how people having Mr. Beast, hashtag whatever random numbers can lead to impersonation on the platform. I can see how that would be a concern. On the other hand, for the real Mr. Beast, if he just wants his Discord username to be Mr. Beast and not really worry about people finding him that easily, then he can just be at Mr. Beast. And only people who know the correct 4 digits are going to be able to add him, unless they want to just try to add every Mr. Beast. And I can tell you, if you randomly add Jimmy on Discord, he's not going to add you. In fact, I think I had to ping him like 3 or 4 times via other means. Be like, hey, add me. Another reason for the change is to make Discord's username system more similar to what users are already familiar with, namely from other social networks, especially Twitter. So our discussion question here, because I think I've done all the talking and Luke has not really contributed his thoughts too much, is what is the advantage of becoming more like other social platforms here? Is this just them chasing broader user base so that they can continue justifying outside investment by showing growth? Or what are we looking at here exactly?
I think, honestly...
Oh, it's 8-something, guys. I am gonna
What would you
head
do with Discord
out.
if you owned
y'all
Discord?
have a good day.
I would figure out how to just
Get your
make it
snacks,
profitable
get
month
all your
over
good
month,
stuff.
and I would enjoy...
Y'all be nice. Make sure to take your medicine. And have a good, safe day. Great one, everyone.